Good morning, students, and welcome to Year 2 English Lesson 13. Our learning intention today is to understand how to identify and discuss similarities and differences in narrative texts. Our success criteria is: I can read and compare two texts, one fractured fairy tale and one fairy tale. I can discuss and write a personal preference. The resources you will need today will be a pencil, a piece of paper, your Cinderella A Fairy Tale book, your Cinder's Rocks book, and if you are wanting to do the extension lesson, you will need sheet 1, my preference sheet. Okay, so today we are exploring different types of narrative texts. We will be looking at how authors use words and images to create characters and stories. So if you don't remember what a narrative text is, a narrative text tells a story. The types of narrative text we are looking at are fairy tales, which is an imaginary or incredible story about the fortunes and misfortunes of main characters who, after being involved in dangerous adventures or tests of some kind, live happily ever after. Fairy tales often include elements of disguise, magic, charms, spells, and fractured fairy tales are a traditional fairy tale or folk tale where characters, plot, setting, or point of view have been unexpectedly changed or modified to present a different point of view to entertain the reader. Now we're going to brainstorm. We're going to use our 5-finger strategy where we list 5 on each hand. So you're going to brainstorm what is different about the story on this hand and what is the same about the story on this hand. Such things as characters, the setting, illustrations, and events will be something you need to look at. So for example, if I'm thinking of similarities, I would say Cinders and Cinderella have a similar name. That's the same. A difference is Cinder's a rock star, whereas Cinderella is a princess. Now, if you have listed those 5 similarities and 5 differences, you might like to get your piece of paper and write it down so you can remember. You can do this just by tracing your hand, the pencil, and then in each finger you can write the similarities and on the other one the differences. Okay, next we will be stating a personal preference for a text. So you will write about your favourite book out of these 2, giving 2 reasons for your preference. Now I have written mine already, which I'll share with you now as an example. Mine is: I prefer the fractured fairy tale Cinder Rocks because it is really funny and I like rock stars. So now is your turn to write that down. Okay, once you have filled in those gaps, I prefer the because it is, and once you've filled in those gaps, you can now, if you want to do the extension lesson, you don't have to. You can take your preference sheet, and remember when we're writing these sentences in full, we need a capital letter and a full stop at the end. Well done to you all, and I look forward to seeing and learning with you tomorrow.